Call to order the regular meeting of September 8th, 2025 for the Village Board of Gurnee. Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Here.
Woodside.
Present.
Ross.
Here.
Garner.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Thomas.
Present.
6 present.
All present. I'll stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everybody. We'll start with the public comment. The initial public comment is limited to 30 minutes. It's also limited, at least the first public comment, to only items that are on the agenda. And your initial comments can only be 3 minutes in length. So if anybody would like to comment about an item on the agenda, you may step to the microphone and state your name.
Good evening. My name is Lauren Bugner. I live at 643 Lexington Square West here in Gurnee. Good evening, trustees and Mayor Hood. As most of you know, I have been an active resident here in Gurnee for about 15 years. And tonight I'm here speaking in favor of the Liberty Point Residences development. I'm speaking on behalf of the Gurnee chapter of Joining Forces for Affordable Housing. Gurnee has a rich history of housing stock for all income levels. With the changes in our economy and the limited new construction over the last several years, housing for our lower income neighbors has become very limited. Many in our community are struggling to afford housing. Liberty Point is an important step toward providing some much-needed relief. With 40 units, this development will infuse our community with a supply of housing units affordable for our neighbors who need it the most. Tonight, myself and all other members of the Gurnee chapter of Joining Forces for Affordable Housing are asking you to please vote in favor of the zoning map amendment and density variance to allow Liberty Point to move forward. Thank you, as always, for your time and service to our community.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Krista March. I live at 6403 Barn Swallow Court, Gurnee, Illinois. For the last 36 years, I've dedicated my life to helping teenage mothers move from uncertainty to empowerment, helping them finish high school, move on to careers, move on to independent living. One of the biggest problems teen moms have, specifically in the Gurnee community, is they have awesome opportunities for entry-level jobs that could potentially lead them to careers right here in Gurnee. However, they can't afford to live here. That often causes a big problem with them having to live outside of Gurnee and yet working inside of Gurnee, because it causes transportation problems, it causes problems finding childcare between the two places, between work and housing. I'm asking on behalf of the teen moms that live in the Gurnee area, I'm asking you to please consider this opportunity, because I believe teen moms and the households headed up by teen moms deserve to have this kind of housing right here in this great town of Gurnee. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Debbie Hazelton. I live at 1601 Belle Plaine, and I'm neutral on the proposed housing thing. I have been here all my life, and so have my grandparents, my parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, and I don't know beyond that. And I remember as a kid, that we would go to, I went to Woodland, and back then the teachers really told the kids, go home and tell your parents to vote yes for the referendum. They were allowed to do that back then. but they were also allowed to spank you with a paddle wrapped in leather, and they also had a dress code, so things have changed over time, luckily. But I said, why aren't you going to vote for it, Grandma? And she said, well, because I want you to be able to live in Gurnee as well. And if it gets to be too expensive, you're not going to be able to afford to pay the taxes and live in Gurnee. And not just this, but anything, and I know you all take our everybody into consideration, because that's why you were voted or appointed to your positions, but you have to make sure that it's affordable for everyone, not just high income, low income, but middle income people that are struggling as well. So as you make your decisions, make sure that there are other people in the village that have been here for a really long time, and I know personally that some are really struggling to keep in their current homes. And they're the people that you go by their house and their grass is mowed and their cars are functioning and they have license plates on their car and they're doing everything right, but they're just not making enough money to make ends meet. So when you do make decisions, you have to take into everything in consideration. I would love to go to every shelter in the state and rescue every pet there, but unfortunately, that's not reality. I can't do that, and neither could the village of Gurnee do that. I think that we all need to do that, not just Gurnee, but other communities as well. And I'm not really sure what our percentage is currently for affordable housing. I know we exceed the 10%, and that is wonderful. I'm very proud of that. But I wondered, and I know you can't answer the question now, but I would like to hear that in the future. What is our cap? Will we have 50% of our housing, which is unrealistic, of course? I mean, is it 25%? What is Gurnee going to do so there's a balance? One more thing. I was on a business trip this weekend, and this weekend, and we happened to go through the Wisconsin Dells, and I had not been there since the 60s. It was awful. I said, who made the planning for this area? It was, everything was overgrown, kind of looked like that building over on 41 and Delaney with the tall grass and everything, and abandoned buildings and stuff. So someone in Wisconsin Dells did not plan very well. So please know that when you make decisions today, it affects not just the people today, but it affects the village and the overall health of the village decades to come.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Amanda Micah. I live at 5743 Constitution here in Gurnee.
Could you tell me your name again? I didn't quite
I'm
get
sorry. Amanda Micah. I
Thank you.
live at 5743 Constitution here in Gurnee, and I'm here tonight to show my support for this project. I'm so glad that the Planning and Zoning Board had expressed and sent to you their recommendation for this, that they were in support of it, and I am, and several of us are as well. I think it's important to provide housing for everyone, and I know the comment was made about how many. I don't know if this is actually what was asked, but I did see that that's nearly a quarter of households in Gurnee are considered housing cost burdened. That means they're spending more than 30% on their homes. I live in a resident area where there are some lower income residents. There's some, I think there are duplexes or apartment buildings in our neighborhood, which I think is fantastic. But I think another thing is you need to consider to provide more of that is that Gurnee is an aging community. I mean, the demographic, as far as I understand, is getting older, and the homes that these people are living in, I'm going to be there one day myself soon too, are becoming so expensive. My husband and I would not have been able to afford living in Gurnee had we purchased our home now instead of even just 10 years ago, because of how high the price is skyrocketed for homes. And in order for us to be able to bring in younger families and younger people that are going to work in Gurnee and spend money in Gurnee, we need to provide opportunities for them to actually live here. So I think that is something that you should consider as well. This is something that can benefit our community too, as well as the other people that are trying to find places to live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Candy Reimholtz, 475 Crest Court, Waukegan. I am here today to talk from my experience as the admin of the Gurnee Moms Facebook group. I'm only speaking for myself, to be clear. There's over 8,000 people in this group. We do not all share the same opinion. I'm speaking for me and my experience. We've been operating for approximately 10 years now, and what makes our group unique is that we work very hard to keep it positive, helpful, and as drama-free as possible. Every post in our group has to be approved by an admin. We don't allow business bashing, negativity about individual teachers, or things that tear people down. Because of that, our members have created one of the safest, most supportive places that you can actually find on the internet today. The women and families in this group have big hearts. They help each other, they help the community, and they care deeply about making Gurnee a great place to live. That's why it's so difficult to see how many posts we get month after month, and it's increasing, from people searching for affordable housing. Some people are hoping to move into Gurnee because of our amazing schools. Others are already here but are facing life-changing events. Maybe it's a divorce, a job loss, or choosing to stay home with their kids, and they're just trying to stay in the community that they love. These aren't nameless statistics. These are good people, good families, the same kind of people that make our schools strong, who volunteer at our events, and who shop at our local businesses. But right now, they are struggling. And if we want people to work in Gurnee, we have to make it possible for them to live in Gurnee. I hope as a village we continue to have a serious conversation about how to create more affordable housing options, because that is what will keep Gurnee strong, welcoming, and live up to our promise of being the community of opportunity.
Thank you. All right, so the floor is closed at this point for public comment. You can always make public comment on any issue at the end of the meeting. So we will move on to the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Ballmer, second by Trustee O'Brien. Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Woodside. Aye. Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Pat?
At number 1, approval of the minutes from the August 18, 2025 meeting. At number 2, approval and public release of the minutes from executive closed session meetings on April 2nd, 2024, September 23rd, 2024, December 2nd, 2024, March 17th, 2025, and May 5th, 2025. At number 3, approval of resolution 2025-08, approving the settlement agreement and general release and authorizing the payment of settlement funds in the Williams versus City of Waukegan litigation case number 23 CV 5945. Item number 4, approval of resolution 2025-09, establishing certain property of the Village of Gurnee to be surplus, 12 Police Department Starcom 21 radios to be donated to Lakecom. Item number 5, approval of Information Systems Division's recommendation to purchase 1 year of VMware support subscription from Zones LLC at a cost of $36,789.12, State of Illinois Innovation and Technology Contract. Item number 6, approval of Information System Division's recommendation to purchase 9 Semtech mobile routers, associated equipment, and extended maintenance coverage from CDS Technologies at a cost of $31,505, Omnia Partners Contract. Item number 7, approval of issuing a raffle license and waiving the fee and bond requirement for the Gurnee School District 56 Band Boosters 2025 and 2026 concerts. Item number 8, approval of payroll for the period ending August 22nd, 2025 in the amount of $1,187,070.71. Item number 9, approval of bills for period ending September 8th, 2025 in the amount of $974,854.47.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. On to petitions and communications. I'm going to be introducing and recognizing the 2025 Gurnee Queens. Miss Gurnee Natalia Alvarez. She was unable to make it tonight, unfortunately. And Junior Miss Gurnee Nellie Arias. Little Miss Gurnee Isabella Franklin, and Tiny Miss Gurnee Sophia Russell. So if you ladies could come on down and join me up front. So I had the pleasure of, both my wife and I had a pleasure last night to go out to dinner with these young ladies, and young ladies they are. So just a pleasure to be with a new group of queens that every year it's always enjoyable for me and also for the various businesses for all the things that they do. And their moms have been very supportive already. And I think they signed a contract. I just learned last night that you signed a contract to go to a minimum of 24 events. Is that right?
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. Moms, did you realize that? Yes, you did, yeah. So just really thank moms for, and also thank you that Natalia has a driver's license. So that's really a good thing too, right? So I'm just going to give you guys a chance to say your name and then tell me whatever you want to tell me. You could just say your name and that you're Tiny Miss. That's okay too. So Nellie, why don't you try?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nellie Arias, your Junior Miss Gurnee 2025.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia, Tiny Miss Gurnee 2025. I like being a queen. I'm Isabella Franklin, your 2025 Little Miss Gurnee.
All right, great job. Trade presents, is that what we're going to do? Yeah? Okay. All right, I'll take that because it looks like it's heavy. Here, you want to say something? You're just going to give me a present of pictures of you guys? That's awesome. You even got your names on there too, right? Yeah. And we actually, the other queens from prior 2024, we have posted right outside the door, so I think that'll take its place, right? So thank you very much. And then we have a plaque for each one of you. So for first, Sophia, here's a plaque for Tiny Miss Gurnee 2025. It says Isabella Franklin, but I understand it's Bella. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So Bella, this is your plaque for Little Miss Gurnee 2025. And Nellie Arias. You're welcome. So it's Junior Miss Gurnee 2025. So I believe, Nellie, you're in 6th grade. Bella, you're 2nd grade. And Sophia, you are pre-K, right? You're in preschool. All right. So that's awesome to be able to do that. So thank you very much. I look forward to all the times that we're going to be able to be together this year. And like I said, the businesses really appreciate when you come. I think that just brings up like it's a party spirit a little bit to show that we have queens that are interested in our businesses. And you'll have plenty of other opportunities too. So for pictures, yeah, that would be great. All right. So no reports, no old business. On to new business. Item 1, approval of ordinance 2025-64, granting a zoning map amendment pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 10 Woodlake Boulevard, Lot 3, Woodlake subdivision. Pat.
Sure. So next two items are related. I'll give a high-level overview. The petitioners here has a presentation that we'll run through and then answer any questions the village board may have. So North Point Development is proposed workforce housing development that'll consist of one 3-story building containing 40 dwelling units. There'll be 16 one-bedroom, one-bathroom units, 14 two-bedroom, one-bathroom units, and 10 three-bedroom, two-bathroom units. Units will be available to families and individuals earning between 30 and 80% of the Lake County median income. In conjunction with this, they've requested a zoning map amendment to rezone about 2.2 acres from existing O1 PUD designation to the straight R6 multifamily residential district. Also looking for a variation to allow the maximum allowable density within the proposed R6 district to increase. So property is down near Woodlake Apartments, south of Washington, east of 21. Like I said, a little over 2 acres. It's the last undeveloped parcel within the Woodlake subdivision. The 2020 Comprehensive Land Use Plan reflects continuation of multifamily for that site. There's certain setbacks, buffers, easements recorded as part of the Woodlake Plat subdivision from 1999. In addition, there's some additional setbacks, density, height, and parking provisions that apply to office or residential developments within the limits of the PUD. They've incorporated all these building and parking setbacks as well as a landscape buffer, so they meet all those requirements. I had a very detailed memo in your packet from our associate planner, Shannon Coleman, about the project with some illustrations. That sums up the first ordinance here. Again, that's the rezoning. Second one is the density, but I'll turn it over to the petitioner to run through his presentation.
Hi, good evening.
You could state your name and who you represent.
Jake Victor, North Point Development.
Lane Manning, Dream Lane Real Estate.
You know what? I've got to just start with this comment. We had some folks speak earlier in support of affordable housing and in support of our project. That was really cool to see these young ladies here in the audience listening to just the conversation around affordable housing at their age and helping other folks in the community. Personally, as somebody that is very deeply involved in this space, that was just pretty touching. I've never had any kids in our audience while we go through these types of topics, and I thought that was pretty unique. So we invite them to participate in opening ceremonies or anything like that, assuming your approval this evening. I've been advised that I believe all of you have listened to the presentation that Lane and I gave to the planning board. With that, there aren't many comments that we want to make. I'm not going to go through the whole presentation. I'll let you all kind of ask your questions. One thing we did realize that we left out of the presentation was around screening for tenants, addressing that. So I'll address that really quick. So the way that we go through interested tenants is similar to a market rate complex or development where there's extensive background checks, rental history. For example, tenants cannot have had an eviction within the last 3 years in order to qualify for the housing. There's credit checks, et cetera. Our income to debt ratio or our income to rent ratio is 2.0, so a resident has to earn a minimum of 2 times the total rent for the year in order to qualify for this workforce housing. And yeah, our third-party management company will have a part-time management agent that is on site, has an office there, and is working with tenants on a daily basis to address any issues that come up. So that is one slide that I had left off the presentation, wasn't able to add it in for this evening that I wanted to address. Some other common questions and items that come up are around traffic, et cetera. We included in the presentation findings from the traffic study that we had done as well, which showed non-material increases in traffic for the area. So with that, I guess I'll just open it up for questions. David, do you want to pull up just the site plan? So I guess before I open it up for questions, again, 40 units, it's a 3-story building. We had a neighborhood meeting where we got some feedback around heights, et cetera. You heard this in the Plan Commission presentation. We were able to address a handful of those comments. nice walking path around the property there, and some nice thoughtful outdoor amenity space with a couple grills and seating area, playground. Plan Commission's first meeting was a conceptual meeting, and they gave us some feedback around the request that we have more green space on the property and on the site plan. So that's something we had significantly increased since our first proposal. Lane, anything you want to add there? We'll answer questions with that.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll just go to my left to start. Usually like to have a motion, but I think I'll just do questions first. So to my left, are there any questions or comments?
Certainly.
Trustee Garner?
Where are the rents going to be for a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom?
Yeah, so the rents aren't set in stone yet. The way that this workforce housing development will work is we received an allocation of housing tax credits from the Illinois Housing Development Authority, and in exchange for those tax credits, which pay for a pretty big percentage of the project costs, we commit to a 30-year land use restriction agreement, which will deed restrict income and rent restrict the units to between 30 and 80% of Lake County median income. So for a 30% unit, the max that we can charge, and I'll go 1 to 3 bedrooms, just the range. The maximum that we're allowed to charge for a 30% AMI unit is $675 a month to $935 a month. For a 50% unit, $1,125 to $1,558. 60%, $1,350 to $1,870, and an 80% unit, $1,800 to $2,400. Those change on an annual basis based off of what the incomes in Lake County look like. But of course, we also have to take into account the actual rent environment, what's achievable for the property. So the idea with Liberty Point is really to be able to address a huge variety of needs in the community, really serving folks that are earning very little income to, a family of 4 earning about $100,000 or less is the range of incomes that these rent levels are specified to assist.
There's a slide in our packet that I think it's the third to last slide. That
I think I left it out by accident.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Is there one more?
Oh.
Go.
Yeah, I just went back. Yeah, so those are the rents that.
Thank you. Any other questions to my left? Or comments, trustee?
Just
Woodside?
a quick question, please. Yeah, I followed your journey through the planning and zoning board process from the informal review in January and the meeting that you just held. And impressive, very impressive presentation. One of the things that was mentioned that I don't see in the documentation was the roof heights. And I notice how well your building appears, it's contiguous with the other apartment buildings that are in the area there. And it was mentioned that the roof level would be lower, not as high as the buildings next to it. Is that accurate?
That's correct. I believe Gurnee Glen is a 4-story building. Our maximum, the way that a community typically measures building height is to the middle of the roof. Our measurement there is about 38 feet. So it'll be less than Gurnee Glen. That's correct.
And
we've reduced that since we started the process.
So that was an adjustment based on the informal.
Yeah, it was based off of Plan Commission, then also meeting with the neighbors. Trying to minimize the height while we're maintaining the residential look of the pitched roof.
Well, it was noticeable how you adjusted your plan based on their input. So very, very wise to do that.
Appreciate that.
Trustee Balmas?
In your interviewing of potential occupants, are you making sure there's a limit for, since you have 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, how many people can be in that and control that? Is that part of?
Yeah, part of our tenant selection plan includes limits to number of occupants per bedroom. I believe it's 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, then I go to my right. Trustee O'Brien?
Thank you. I just had 2 questions. One, I couldn't tell from the drawing if the nature path that you've got is going to connect with the nature path that runs along Milwaukee through the woods.
Yeah, there's currently a sidewalk, I believe, off of Wood Lake Boulevard. So we'll be connecting to that sidewalk, and then we can connect it further in the property as well. Right now, it's kind of, if you go back to the site plan, I can show exactly. So you can see the connection. It's on the southern part of the site plan.
Yeah.
We can add another connection on the walking path if you all would like to see that as well.
It'd be nice, only because it's a hidden gem, actually. I bet most people don't even know that exists in there.
Yeah, I've taken a walk down it. It's pretty cool.
I agree. And I had one other question related to actually the residents. What happens either through good or bad fortune if they supersede or go below? So go below 2 times, or if they supersede 30% of AMI or 50% of AMI, whatever. Do you reestablish annually or something?
It's reestablished annually. That's correct. The way that the income restrictions typically work are we have a set number of 30%, 50%, 60%, and 80% AMI units. So one other unit would have to open for us to move like somebody that's earning 80% AMI and has lost income to like a 50% AMI or 60% AMI unit.
And if it goes the other way, let's say something happens of good fortune, and now they no longer qualify to be in a 30%, and you don't have something available in a 50, 60, or 80.
Yep.
Are they out?
No, there's flexibility built into the program. I believe their income can go up by 130% before they actually have to vacate the property to promote, folks bettering themselves or earning more income while they're living there and taking advantage of the stability.
Excellent. Thank you.
Trustee Thorson.
So going along the discussion on the walking path, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold. David, can you point out where it's connecting right now?
The conceptual plan that's shown here doesn't show it connecting. Sure. Oops, sorry.
Right now, the connection is here. I'm proposing that we can have another connection at the northern part of the site as well.
So looking at the aerial photo, you can see that the existing walking path is in that 100-foot buffer and just beyond that 100-foot buffer. So making a connection point from here up to the existing walking path, they're agreeable to doing that. We'll hash those details out once we get to the site plan review.
Okay, great. I think that's a real win for what I read, what the neighbors were asking for, so that would be terrific. And Quinn's absolutely correct. I had a friend that moved there temporarily after they sold their home, and we walked all the way through there down to Lake Karina and back, and it was just fantastic. So while the neighbors might not want the additional noise during just construction is what I read, or possibly traffic with the number of cars if they had max cars, I think that an additional walking path would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that feedback. We'll also have like dog waste stations and the such along that sidewalk there where folks from the whole area could kind of come and take advantage of that, which would naturally occur anyways.
My second question is around bus activity. I believe there's already a bus, but they increased their pace access closer to the employee entrance at Six Flags. Do we have good pace utilization?
Yeah, we had to do an analysis on that for our IDA application. The closest bus stop that I was able to find, and David, you might be able to speak better to it, is located at Washington and Milwaukee, which is about 0.4 miles from the site. It has that nice walking path to get there.
Okay. So the last thing is, when will you begin to accept apps? I know you've got a 12-month window for build, but we probably all know somebody that is already looking. So when would that be?
Yeah, we're hoping to start construction in February or March. So it'd be February or March of 2027.
So you'd be accepting apps at the same time that you started construction?
We'd start accepting applications probably in November of 2026.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Ross.
One of the other things that people were complaining about or were wondering about was the traffic and you said you'd done a traffic study. Would you just go over that with us?
Yeah, David, would you pull up, I think it's the last 3 slides. So the results of the traffic study, traffic counts showed that the peak hours for the development would be between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. And the weekday, or that would be the weekend, or weekday peak hours, and the weekday evening hours would be 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. The traffic study showed that here it is. Weekday morning peak hours, 1 in and 5 out. And again, this is a peak hour. Of course, there will be more traffic throughout the duration of the morning. Weekday evening peak hours would be 10 in and 6 out. Daily trips two-way, 72 in, 72 out. And the traffic study included in their conclusions that there was no material impact on the existing traffic patterns. Of course, the southwest turning direction is challenged. It's challenged today. It concludes that it is going to continue to be challenged. There will be, another 5-6 cars added during the peak hour, but there's nothing that can be done right now with that turning radius. The rest of the turning radiuses are found to be acceptable. I think you all know how difficult that one turn is, though.
And I will add a note that the north access point of Woodlake Boulevard is a potential signal site once we get the triangle development going, and having more traffic helps justify that signal. So, for what that's worth.
Thank you. So is there a motion?
I had a question.
All right.
The
Not a motion.
it's not a motion, right? There was a slide I saw as you flipped through that showed the interior of the units of the yeah. Kind of want to take a look at that.
Lane, you want to speak to?
Yeah. Anything particular you had, any particular question? Or these are some examples. If you go to that one, I think, yeah, these are some actual units we have that have been completed. You can see the vinyl plank we typically use for flooring, granite, no, sorry, not granite, quartz or countertops. We try to buy really cool lights with screw-in halogens so we can replace them moving forward. Stainless steel appliances, try to do trendy colors. But these are actually units that we have that are obviously staged and modeled for photographs, but that's what our tenants are living in right now here in Illinois and Wisconsin.
Carpet in the bedrooms, really open floor plans. We're wrapping up a project in McHenry and Yorkville right now, and I was just out there this afternoon, and I mean, my contractor just keeps saying how many people are stopping by and complimenting the look and feel of the projects. So we work really hard to make this blend in right with a market rate development, if not nicer, and be able to give folks a real pride and joy in where they're living.
Is there a slide just above this or below this one? Yeah, so then you got the exercise room. That the bottom one's a community space. The bottom right is a typical example of the manager's office. So we do it right. It looks pretty good.
I think you all have seen the kind of special component of this project, which is really that outdoor amenity area that we've designed. Really, again, based off feedback from planning board around the necessity for quality of life being a priority with this project, which we do in general, but we're really playing that up here, which we're excited about.
I'm really excited about this. This life.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. You good, Greg? Greg?
No, I'm good,
You good?
thanks.
Okay. So is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by
Second.
Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Ross. Are we going to do anything about that connecting? We need to bring.
We can handle that during site plan
Inside?
review. That will be something staff can handle. No, it's not part of the zoning or the
Right,
density.
so not part of the motion. Okay. Roll call, please.
Torstenson.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. So we're going to do the second item, gentlemen. That'll be about the same. Approval of ordinance 2025-65, granting a density variation pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 10 Woodlake Boulevard, Lot 3, Wood Lake subdivision. I think you already spoke to this, so is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by trustee O'Brien, second by trustee Garner.
Question?
Oh, sure.
It's probably more for, but just to be clear, the density allow for 40 units as opposed to 29 units that would have been otherwise.
That is correct. Our R6 zoning district has a square footage of land area that is required per dwelling unit. So we are modifying that minimum amount. I think it's going from 3250 down to 2750. Something, or it's in the notes ordinance. But yes, to allow for going from the 29 allowed based upon the land area up to the 40.
Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Welcome to Gurnee, gentlemen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to it.
Approval of ordinance 2025.
66.
Granting a special use permit for an electronic message board sign pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 749 Milwaukee Avenue, Gurnee, American Legion Post 771. Pat?
Sure. So again, included in your packet, pretty detailed memo from our associate planner, Shannon Coleman. Legion is proposing a complete ground sign overhaul. So there's 4 existing pole signs that will be removed along with the main pole sign at the corner of Grand and Milwaukee near the existing tank. The main sign is currently in the right-of-way, so that needs to be moved back onto the Legion's property. They're proposing to replace all this signage with one new sign that includes an electronic message board. So the electronic message board area is about 17.5 square feet. For a point of comparison, the Alex sign is 22 square feet, so a little smaller than that for the message board area. Instead of having a monument base on it, since it's in the floodplain, staff recommended that it be elevated. So it does, as you've seen some illustrations here in your packet, what it'll look like doesn't have your typical monument base. Instead is an elevated sign. Overall height of the sign will be 12 feet. That's compliant with the C2 commercial district. That also keeps all the electronics, everything up above in case there is a flood at that site. As you know, our ordinance requires, or the special use permit is subject to 9 restrictions that are outlined in the staff memo. So same restrictions you put on the other ones as far as the flashing, how often it can change, et cetera. So those are in there. Legion agreed to those, is aware of them. We'll incorporate them into the sign. Was before the PZB on August 20th and received a unanimous favorable recommendation and is now ready for your consideration.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion by trustee Ballmer, second by trustee O'Brien. Any questions or comments? Trustee Thorstenson.
I would say that if any business in Gurnee has ever needed an electronic sign more than this one, I couldn't imagine. If you are thinking of driving east or west on Grand Avenue near the Legion, you aren't looking at a Legion's sign. You are not. You are in the middle of traffic. And when you're going eastbound, you have a little bit of an elevation there going over the bridge. So I just cannot imagine this being needed anymore. But thank you, and that's my statement.
Trustee O'Brien.
I just have a question. I know it mentioned that the main sign right now is in the right-of-way. So they're not going to have to move the tank, are they, to put the new sign in?
No, it's close to the right-of-way line. The pole sign may be overhanging a little bit. It's difficult finding property corners out there, so we're requesting that they pull it back a little bit to make sure that it's on private property.
Thanks.
The new tank is one of the signs. Any other questions or comments? No? Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Item 4, approval of ordinance 2025.
67.
Amending Chapter 74, Article 8 of the Gurnee Municipal Code related to the Village village's food and beverage tax. Pat?
Sure. So a memo from Attorney Winter on this. I remember a couple years ago, we amended the municipal code as related to delinquent hotel taxes. So that amendment allowed staff to estimate taxes owed based on prior submissions of returns when no tax return was provided. So then we could issue them a written notice to the taxpayer for the estimated taxes due. We don't have that language on the food and beverage tax side, so when we run across food and beverage taxpayer that doesn't submit returns, we're not able to estimate based off of past returns what we think they owe us and go through that process. This simply makes that change. It mirrors what we did on the hotel tax side, which has been useful to staff as it relates to collecting those delinquent taxes, working with the taxpayer, so we want to do it on the food and beverage tax side.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee Ross. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to public comment. As I said in the beginning, this is a public comment where you're able to comment about anything. And if you'd like to step up to the microphone, state your name. There being none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee O'Brien. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.